that you know that every so often you're going to come up under some sort of attack. And instead of fainting in the day of your calamity, you just start saying to yourself, God's going to get some glory out of this. I don't know about you, but there's been times in my life that I've just been about to die. The pressure was so strong. It felt like it was just going to push me right through the floor. And I was on my way to the floor. And on my way down, I thought to myself, wonder what's on the other side of this. It must be something on the other side of this. And the moment that thought hit my head, I strengthened myself and said, you know what? I got to make it to the other side just to see what God is stirring up for me on the other side of this test. Slap somebody and say, live through it all. You got to have a 100% commitment to survival. A 100% commitment to survival. Look at somebody and say, I will survive. The challenge in the process of surviving the many, it's not one thing, I mean it's many things, the many vicissitudes of life, the struggles of life, the challenges of life, the adversities, the bills, the have not. You go through different periods. You're up today, you're down tomorrow. You've got everything. You've got excess money. You're helping your neighbors out, your friends out. All of a sudden something changes and you're the one in need. You're feeling good today. You get sick tomorrow. Everything's well over here today. Something goes wrong tomorrow. The vicissitudes of life. Life changes. I don't care who you are. I don't care how attractive you are. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care if you have more degrees than a thermometer. Life is challenging. It will shift on you. It will reel in and reel out on you. And in the midst of changing, your prayer has got to be, Lord, stabilize me in the middle of the storm. Everything's shaking, but don't let me shake. Everything's breaking, but don't let me break. Having done all to stand, stand therefore with your loins girt about with truth. The cross was no surprise. Jesus knew who would betray him. If you walk with God, God will show you your enemies. He sat at meat with him. He said, one of you is the devil. And it would have been good for him to be able to be perceptive enough to know that it was 1 out of 12, but he went deeper than that. He said, the one that dips with me. He knew which one it was. He knew which one was betraying him and let him dip anyway. So confident was your God that Judas wasn't going to whip anything on him that God couldn't deliver him from, that he basically is sitting there saying, take your best shot. Is there anybody in this room that has so much confidence in God that you can say to the enemy, all right, devil, take your best shot. For God I'll live and for God I'll die. He didn't bring me this far to leave me. If he was trying to destroy me, he could have destroyed me a long time ago. Somehow or other, God is going to bring me out of it. I wish I had one good amen. Just now, as we look at this, the issue becomes this, and I'm going to hurry through this. I don't want to take up a lot of time. I am convinced that the greatest struggle with dealing with any issue in life is the warfare in your own mind. It's not what you go through, it's how you feel about it. It's the attack that comes in between your two ears. That's the battleground where the enemy really wants to attack you. When the Bible talks about Delilah dealing with Samson, it talks about more than her beguiling him out of his secrets. It also talks about her afflicting him. And I think that one of the ways that the enemy afflicts us is in our mind, in our thought process, how we think about an issue, how we feel about the thing. The suggestions, the threat, the fear, the antagonism lodges an attack against your mind. There are many people in this room, you've been warring in your mind. You haven't been fighting in your body, but you've been fighting in your mind. All in the middle of the night, you've been fighting in your mind. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if you're running out of you don't have enough this? Suppose this or that comes. You wake up tired. You go to bed tired. You drive to work tired. You're 30 years old and tired. I've never seen so many tired young people in all of my life. Can't get out the bed. 20 years old and wore out. What in the world are you going to do at 80 if you're about to faint at 20? I've never seen so many 30-year-olds exhausted, worn out, depressed, and discouraged. You haven't even gotten into the real fight yet. You just keep on living. What makes it like that is that it's not just the flesh and blood that you're wrestling with, but you're wrestling against principalities and powers. You've got spirits pressing you, saying you can't make it. You've got demons pressing you, saying you won't make it. You got enemies fighting you, saying I hope you don't make it. You got insecurities saying you don't deserve to make it. And pressures are pushing you on every side. And you start wondering, where is God? Can we be honest? Have you ever gone through anything that was so difficult that in the back of your mind, not in the front, but way back here, you thought, where is God? Where is the God that delivered my friends? Where is the God that delivered my coworkers? Where is the God that delivered my church members? Have you ever wondered how come God didn't get you out of trouble when you prayed? Have you ever called on him and you thought he'd be there by 4 o'clock and it's 6:15 and no show? It is the feeling of being forsaken. The feeling of being forsaken is a part of the process. Anybody can walk with God when his presence is manifest. The real challenge is to walk with God when it is not manifest. Anybody could have faith when the anointing is running all the way down your head, but you need faith when you don't see him, when you can't feel him, when there's no sign he's coming, when you've run out of unemployment, when they're about to take the house. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying to you. You need faith when the husband leaves and you're left there with the kids. You need faith when the woman walks out and won't let you see the kids. You need faith for those moments. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Jesus, the water walker. Jesus, the leper cleanser. Jesus, the dead raiser. Jesus, the mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the everlasting Father, up under the weight of his attack, cried out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why has thou forsaken me? Now let me tell you something with your wonderful self. If Jesus got to the point that he said, where is God? Don't you sit there with that cute silk dress and act like you have never thought. Preach it, Bishop. If Jesus, while he was being nailed up, said, I looked on the right, he's not there. I looked on the left, I can't. Don't you tell me that you got so much power that you haven't ever wondered, Lord, where are you in all these bills? Where are you in this hospital? Where are you in this marriage? Where are you in this situation? Where are you while I'm dealing with these birds? Where are you while they're taking my job? Where are you while they're promoting everybody else but me? Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? It is the first time in the life of the physical life of Jesus Christ that he refers to the Father as God. Every other time he calls him Father. But up under this pressure and the pain of this moment, he calls him God. He's never felt further. Have you ever gone through a period where you never felt further? Just away in a corner in isolation. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Let me tell you what God will teach you through the things that you struggle. When you're in the process. Now let me explain what the process is. The process is a nebulous place where you don't benefit from either your past or your future. In between places. in process. You can't draw from what you used to draw from. And you can't draw from what you're gonna draw from. You're in the middle of the road. You're in the middle of becoming. You're evolving. It is always while you are in a transition that the enemy tries to destroy you. It's always while you're evolving. He doesn't try to destroy you before you get started because you got help on that side. And he doesn't try to destroy you after you get there because you got help right there. But while you're in between this place and that place, and you're just about to finally get your hand on the thing that God promised you, it's right at that moment that you come up under the greatest attack that you've ever gone through in your life, and you start saying, God, why have you forsaken me? Because when you start feeling sorry for yourself, you almost regret getting started. And the enemy will try to make you think you should have stayed in Egypt. At least in Egypt you had leeks and honey. I know you can't say anything because you can't ever admit that you ever thought about staying in Egypt. But when the pressure gets strong enough, the devil will say, at least when you was back in Egypt, you had a few phone numbers you could call. At least when you was... And you come to church and the preacher is preaching 7 promises of God. God said he's going to bless you. God said he's going to deliver you. God said he's going to turn you around. Turn around 3 times. Turn around 6 times. Turn around 5 times. Turn around 4 times. Turn around 3 times. You turned around till you dizzy, and you're still dealing with issues and trials and temptations and tests and struggle. You go home saying, Lord, I shouted all over the church and I got home and things were worse than they were before I left. What do you do when it looks like God is blessing everybody else but you? What do you do when it looks like the more you try, the worse things get? What do you do when God puts your pain on public display, nails you to a cross, and doesn't answer your prayer when you ask him to answer? What do you do?